Everyone is having, I forgot what day it was for a moment there, already at Wednesday, but hope everyone's having a fantastic week and you're making the momentum that you want to have both in your life and your business. Today, I hope we caught you at a good moment because we have something really, really valuable for you and a story that I think is going to inspire many of the people within this group because every single week we get messages and emails from DPTs who feel trapped within their jobs, trapped within their life, and there's no clear way of getting out from underneath the rock that they find themselves. And for many of them, they end up finding different careers. They find non-clinical positions that they're less passionate about, or they start a side hustle and add more onto their plates and their lives get even more stressful and then they feel like they have even fewer options. And so I wanted to bring out someone who is pretty new to our community, who has not only been working a full-time job but working 7 days a week while getting her side hustle off the ground. And in her first month, not only did she find the space and time to learn the things that were necessary to be successful in business, but she took action on all of them right away and ended up doing a little shy of $14,000 in her first month, which I know to Betty Lou here doesn't feel like a massive accomplishment. But to many of you in this group, I think you would disagree, and you know how difficult it is for many people to reach that level in 6 months, let alone the first month. And so, everyone, let's give Betty Lou here some love and appreciation and support for not only starting her practice in a time when most people would say they don't have the time for this sort of thing, but she took the step, she took action, and found that success early on by doing so. So she could be doing anything today, but she's here to share her story, share some of her knowledge with all of us. So make sure to give her some love in the comments. Betty Lou, thanks for taking the time.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about who you are, your story, where you're from, where you work, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, so I'm Betty Lou. I'm 27. I live in Lake Elsinore, California, but I work in the area of like Marietta and Temecula. Um, I've been in the gym setting as a personal trainer since 2017, and that's kind of where I knew that that was the setting that I wanted to be in, though I knew I wanted to be a physical therapist. I just started having the vision of being a physical therapist in a gym, teaching strength, like using everything from mental, emotional, physical, all the pieces that make us who we are, and tailoring it to the individual in front of me. I had gone through physical therapy as a patient multiple times up until that point, and I just kept getting re-hurt. And so the system wasn't really working for me, though I really knew that I wanted to be a physical therapist, which is kind of odd. Until I met this lady that I was just like, okay, I want to be like her. And she got me better. And then, so that's kind of how my two worlds collided. I was the patient. I met someone that I really valued and looked up to. And then I found myself in this gym setting for my capstone in college. And I was like, oh, I think this is where I want to do this physical therapy thing, if that's even a thing. And at that point, I didn't even know that it was kind of heading in that direction for people to be doing therapy out of the gym. Um, you know me, I just thought I was like the beginning of it. Not really. But so I went to PT school, and I've been at this current gym since we opened. We just had our 6-year anniversary on Saturday, where I was having a booth for my own practice, which is crazy. So yeah, this gym has definitely held it down for me and kept me alive in a sense. Like even when I went out for my internships, I had to drive all the way to Florida and back, and they kept me on as an employee. So I never lost my position here, and I always provided value. But now the goal is that I'm here as a resource for the clients that we do have, bringing more people into the gym, and just really fostering like a lifelong approach to health and instilling longevity into people, and just allowing people to be comfortable in a gym. Like, you can get better, but I don't want you back in my room. Like, I want you out there in the gym. And then if something happens, I'm there for it. But that's my goal. Is I hate the gap where people fall off the wagon because, insurance-based therapy is just 6 and out, or like, oh, sorry, wait a month till we can get a new referral, and then
Yep.
everything just goes down the drain and we fall off the wagon, and then people come back and it's just like this never-ending cycle that we all know about. So
Mhm.
yeah, that's what I'm here to try and improve. And so far, it's going well. I officially launched my business January 2nd, but like you said, I have been working this whole time. So I was slowly transitioning out of my position here at the gym since I'd been here for so long. I did hold a lot of weight on my shoulders. And so I was having to start to delegate and cut down my hours. And I also work at a hospital. So same thing there. I was having to start cutting back my shifts and figuring it out. So last month was technically my first month. And yeah, it just kind of unfolded in front of me, and I surpassed my goal multiple times. It was like every week.
What was your first goal? What was your goal for your first month?
I honestly thought like maybe like I don't know, like $2,000 to $3,000, like maybe. And then I was like, oh, that was yeah, but then I was like, oh, that was one package. Like people coming out the gate with these 12 and 16 package purchases without even blinking an eye. As I saw, I was like, thank God I'm working in this area, because there's money here and I didn't grow up like that. So it's just crazy. I don't know. Just don't have confidence, you say the number and they're like, okay. And I'm like,
yeah,
don't react.
It's all conviction, and you'd be shocked. Like the communities that actually we see people like exploding, having explosive growth, like going from like 5K to 30K in the matter of like 30 days are in these like really small communities that are like blue collar, where they don't think anyone would ever buy a package. But we're starting to notice like those are the communities that are like the thirstiest for like really good care, because they've seen experts for decades trying to solve problems. They don't have like the premium kind of treatment model that a cash clinic can provide. So you'd actually be shocked that it has less to do with like affluency and more to do with just what's available in the community.
Yeah. Well, it was definitely crazy. Like during the modules, you guys do a great job of being like, put your price where it belongs kind of thing. And, selling the sell because you believe in it, and that's okay. And I'm still like working on that personally.
If you got it figured out in 30 days, you would be legend. It takes years, because no matter what, no matter how good you get, no matter how big your business gets, you're always going to have this imposter syndrome, and you're always going to kind of like second guess things at times. Like there's going to be times where you feel on top of the world. There's going to be days where like everything feels like it's falling apart. Now your like conviction in what you're selling kind of, falters a little bit. But you've done an incredible job implementing everything so far. Most people, like, it takes them longer than you did to get things up and running. So I want you to own that. You did an incredible job.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Definitely have felt all those feelings. It did take me a while to, get some of my systems up in place, but just even the lessons about like the confidence and the numbers and all of that is what I ran with the first month. And I was quickly like, okay, if I sell 2 more at 150, like I'm bumping this thing up. And then I was like, all right, March 1st, like we're going to $200. So, but that happened like a little bit before March. And so then I don't know. And then I was like, oh my God, I got to change all my numbers everywhere and do all the math again. And now I feel like I got to do it again because things are fine. So I'm like, oh, okay.
That's why we don't write down our numbers anywhere. Like have it in like PT Everywhere, whatever you're using to process payments, but don't put your prices anywhere, because it's something that should fluctuate and change based off of demand for your time, based off of your own availability, based off of what you, the business owner, the heart and the soul of the entire business needs to show up and do your thing every single day. So that's why we don't put them on websites or anything like that, because you might wake up next week and decide like, I'm going to increase it by $20 today and see what happens,
You're not wrong. Maybe tomorrow.
But anyway, I want to talk a little bit about your how you got started. Like, what led to the decision that you were going to start your own practice?
So I always said that I wanted to own my own practice. So first it was like, little girl, I want to be a doctor. Thought I was
Mm,
going to be a pediatrician. Then I found physical therapy. I was like, okay, I'm going to be a physical therapist. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to be a physical therapist in a gym. But I think I've always wanted to just like run my own show, probably to like prove something to my probably
no, it's you can
probably to
say.
I was gonna say probably to prove something to like my dad that doesn't talk to me and the people at my high school that, you know, for some reason just didn't think I was anything. So,
Mhm. I
um,
understand that well. That's a very, very strong motivator. My first company, it was kind of like a side hustle. I didn't take it quite as seriously, but then one of my best friends started dating my like high school sweetheart behind my back, and
oh,
then I found out
okay.
my other best friends, and I knew like my friends were almost like keeping this kind of a secret, and that anger that came out of
Mhm.
that of like f everybody, I'm going to go
Yeah.
all in on this. Like I wouldn't be me if it wasn't for that kind of like drive. So I
Yeah.
understand that well.
Yeah. I mean, I had like my life growing up wasn't the best and but me and my mom's relationship's not good really, but I hands down will say that she held it down for us the whole time and she continues to like work and work and work. And though we may not get along and have like the best relationship, I truly like want to be able to buy her a boat one day or like just,
Yeah.
you know, like as of now, like I pay for her phone bill, but like I would rather pay for her mortgage, you know. Um
Mm.
I pay for her gym membership, but I would rather like have a retirement fund starting for her. Like I just
Yeah.
want to provide that and I think I can do that better doing something that I actually want to do versus just like being upset at how shitty the system treats
Yeah.
people that are looking for help. So,
Well, thank you so much for like being
yeah.
open and sharing that because I think one that's the most powerful motivator at all when you want to give the people you love a better chance at having a better life than what you had, and you want to repair old relationships.
Yeah.
That's very, very similar to my case. Everything that I do is so that I can give my future kids the relationship I didn't get to have with my parents either. And
Yeah.
I do have to say, the people we've coached hundreds of practice owners over the last just 2 years alone, and the ones who are the most successful, I'm talking the ones that go from like just starting or being around like 10, 15K a month to within 12 to 18 months doing like 80,000, $100,000 months. They have that kind of motivation. They have that kind of drive. And
Yeah.
most people, when they start their practice, the reason they suffer, the reason they struggle so much is because they just want more money. They just want to have a little bit more freedom. They want to create a job for themselves rather than thinking like, how can I really like impact not just the patient in front of me, but my community and my family and my future family. So
Yeah.
thanks for sharing that. And I'm excited even more to see it grow. And your immediate like success actually makes a lot more sense now that I understand what drives it.
Thank you. I also have to give that to like the environment that I am because I've been here for so long. I think,
Yeah.
I've fostered a lot of relationships here. And then on the other side of it, like my gym here has also done a really good job putting themselves into the community. So there's already a trusting door that people are walking through. And then I just happen to be on the other side of it that can provide some more value. So that's definitely a bonus. But um, yeah, I've been thinking about the same thing. So at our party on Saturday, I was like, wow, like, wonder where I'm going to be in 6 years on my own because the 6 years that I've been here flew by. And then I was
Mhm.
just like, I can't think that far. Like, that's crazy. I don't want to know. But I kind of do want to know.
You
So,
you should have a good idea. We should talk about that sometimes.
definitely.
But speaking of having a community that supports you, You obviously knew that you wanted to start your own cash practice because you have a really, really strong why and vision for yourself. But why did you end up joining us? Like, what was it that you were dealing with or struggling with that you sought us out for?
Um, so when I was in my I think my last year of PT school, um, I knew I didn't know what I was doing, first of all. So somehow I ended up in your guys's, pipeline of things. And I had a phone call with AJ,
Yeah.
and I remember it like it was yesterday. I think I was literally like in my bathroom on the floor, like crying to this man over the phone, like about how I just was like lost in the sauce and I wasn't passing like my boards exam, and it was just my grandma was dying and I had no money, and I was like, I want to be in this program, but I can't even afford
Mhm.
eggs. Like, I don't even know. So he like talked me through it, sent me some like resources of some of your guys' trainings, which I thought was really cool. Because I didn't pay for anything at that time. He was just like, you know what? Like, let me help you, girl. And I was like, thanks. Thanks. So it was kind of just like a little beacon of hope. And then almost a year exactly, which because we looked it up, is when it kind of came back around, and I was like, oh, I'm going to do this program now. And so then we got on our next call and he was like, I remember you. And I was like, yeah, I remember you too. So let's talk, and then that's how it kind of came about. But I think just the open hand of him genuinely trying to like hear me out and help me first versus just like brushing me off like people typically do and just think that like I'm not gonna do what I'm saying I'm gonna do. So I've been saying this for a long time, and then all of a sudden it happened and people were like, wow. And I got like comments from people in my high school like, oh, I didn't think that like you were gonna be the one. And I was like, I don't know why. I got every award there was in high school and my picture was on the wall. Like, I don't know where you guys were, but like
All
I'm pretty cool.
all the hate. Yeah.
Like, and I did the same thing in college, and I don't know, maybe it's just my appearance or my personality. People just, I don't know, they don't believe me, but here I am doing the thing. So yeah, he got me all set up, and I really just think that like, yeah, it could have been the algorithm, but also it could have been anybody's algorithm. Like, I think there was a couple other cash PT things that were following me around too. Like I got a book from somebody else, and it was really just like the personal connection and the help and the time that he provided.
Yeah. Would you
And then
feel
even though I wasn't ready at the time, I was like, oh, that's who I'm going to go back to. So,
do you feel like that kind of empathy and personal attention has continued since you joined?
yeah. Have you met Jen? Love her.
No, I have no idea. No idea. No,
um,
Jen is incredible. Yeah, love Jen.
yeah.
We're blessed to
So
have her.
she's my coach.
Mhm.
And she's got me on Facebook and, like the number that we all talk through.
Mhm.
But aside from her, like, me and you have chatted and you're cool. I like you.
Appreciate
Um,
that.
ever like even when I was kind of getting set up, and I think it was even before I even had paid for the course again, like because I was let into somewhere along the line, somebody put me into the program Facebook page before
Mhm.
before I was even in the group, as I think you guys just really trusted me. And I was asking for help there, and people were messaging me, and I'm like, all of these people are so helpful, and I have not given a single dime to this group, but yet like there people were messaging me about like legal stuff, helping me with like that process of getting all of my licensure in line and like actually setting up this business that I have, which is crazy. So I don't know, just all like from that 1 year that I was in my bathroom to actually when I was getting help with you guys to actually being a part of the group and now like going through my weekly checkups, like everything's been great. And I haven't even really scratched the surface. Like I think I've posted a couple wins in the group, and people always are supportive. And I've posted one question in the group since starting, even though I have like 1,000, and I still got, all the feedback needed. And so I think as I get more and more time and I'm putting more and more out there, like I can only imagine. And I'm also super excited for Scottsdale.
Let's
That's going to be
go. Live event. If you're around here and you're coming to Scottsdale for the live event this May, say what's up. We got a lot of love and support in the comments, both on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube right now. So just so you
thanks,
know, we got a lot of people cheering for you. Cool.
appreciate it.
So, I mean, first month of business, it went almost 4x what you were hoping would happen. What would you say, like, what's something that you learned from us that you feel like was like a key factor in helping make that happen?
So like I mentioned earlier, the price point for things was really eye-opening and helpful. And then it was like, I think my intuition's pretty strong too. So things kept showing up around me where I was like, that's how much that person's paying for that. Like, not to toot my own horn, but okay. So then that would raise my price. And kind of put things into perspective, because I understand like the world's expensive and changing, but I also got to be there too. Though the call reviews and like the language for my discovery calls, the language for trying to get that plan of care, that's really helpful. I can hear like the phrases that I know that I've like kept from the Zoom calls in my brain, and they come out like at the right time. I'm like, oh, that was that moment that I needed to say something, and I did it, versus being like, damn, what was I supposed to say there? Or I don't know how to respond. So I feel a lot more prepared from those. And like the discovery call breakdown was game changing for me. That part, and I had one more. What was my question?
Was it Jen? I was asking you like what things that you learned through the curriculum helped you 4x what your initial goal was for month one outside sales training.
Yeah. So the whole premise of just like how we do the plans of care. So like at the gym, I know how we sell things, and it's more of like a month-to-month membership, but I didn't really have that frame of mind for my therapy session. So getting like the understanding and the value of like why we're doing the package from my point of view and for their point of view, and understanding the wording and how I kind of sell it, being that skin in the game, and just investing into themselves so that I know that they're in it, and having that conversation really like seals the deal, because they're purchasing so many in advance. Like,
right.
And that was a huge learning curve for me. And a moment where I was like, oh, okay, so this is, you do this, right, so you can pay for this, so that this keeps moving. And that's helpful, because prior to that, I was just going week to week. Oh, I forgot to mention, I also saw people in their homes. So I would be traveling to people's houses, and then if they canceled, like, well, there was that time that I set for that appointment. So and I wasn't really charging cancellation fees for these house visits. So getting the money up front and like being able to turn that around and put it into my ads, and not have to worry. Like, yeah, you're right, I did have a great first month. So then, launching my ads, I wasn't so nervous. But I can see it either way. Like, if you price yourself right, and even if you sell one, you're going to be okay to launch a couple ads, eat ramen. Like, I'm still living real small. And so I hope everybody does that. That's not something I learned, but that's something I can preach. Like, you better not be living large if you don't have,
right,
the means. So
the worst. Yeah, that's no matter what industry you're in, like that is what so many people like kill themselves over. They elevate their lifestyle long before they're supposed to. The best thing in my opinion, just because I come from a place that doesn't come from money. I've spent many years like broke. And it was one of the best things I ever did for myself. Like once you're comfortable at that level, like you're unstoppable because
Oh
you're
yeah.
comfortable like reinvesting where you're supposed to. But I want to say that with a grain of salt, because I also you need to make sure that that you pay yourself. So I'm not sure if you did yet from that good
I
money.
didn't. I
Yeah.
haven't.
You have no overhead. You have very, very little overhead. Keep enough in the bank for 3 months, but give yourself the rest. Because what happens as entrepreneurs, especially when you're first starting out, if you don't allow yourself to feel the reward from the effort you're putting in, you burn out very, very quickly. We had a
Yeah.
discussion with that in our mastermind where someone he's been doing very, very well. He's been booked out for weeks now, and he was just burnt out, so fried, and his sales started to hurt because he was just burnt out every single day and he didn't have the same energy and enthusiasm that got him that busy. And so we're talking about it, and then I found out that he hasn't been paying himself, and he had like he had crazy low overhead, like less than $1,000 a month for his overhead, but he had about 20 grand in the bank from the packages that he sold, and he was keeping
Hmm.
it in there because he was afraid of like, what if something happens? I need to spend like come up with money. And basically, we took him through the financial formula that you should have and gave him permission. It's like, cut yourself a check for 10 grand today, keep enough in the bank for the next 3 months, and see how you feel tomorrow. See if you close more of those packages. And he crushed it because you walk a little bit differently when you know you have money in the bank, because even if the business goes up in flames, like you are protected. You have cash in the bank. And as long as you are walking and as long as you're okay, the business is going to be okay. But it's not doesn't work the other way around. So don't forget, like your business is a reflection of you, not the other way around. So take care of yourself, pay yourself. If you're not okay up here, the business is gonna not be okay either.
You might have to walk me through that one too, because I
I
didn't pay
will.
myself last month, but I do have a meeting on Thursday, like with my tax guys. So we'll
Right,
see. I got to take care of last year, and then I'll feel better.
right. Set a little bit aside. First thing, every single month, pay yourself a little bit, then take care of expenses, then take care of bills. But pay yourself first, because if you don't feel that momentum, you'll never build any.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
100%.
But I can take you through it. Read Profit First. That's the best place to start. You are working 7 days a week and you have stuff to do for us. I would recommend watching the YouTube short version.
That's a great idea because the Profit First book has been sitting by my bedside for a while.
Yep. Either go to like OpenAI, ChatGPT, ask for a summary of it, or go to YouTube and just watch the short version. That is the kind of go-to financial model for businesses. And it's basically right now at your stage, you should be paying yourself 50, 60% of revenue based off
Okay.
of your, maybe even a little bit more because you have that deal with your gym where you don't have a whole lot of overhead. So make
Yeah.
sure you're getting paid, because you're going to come into work with walking a little bit differently. And you're going to sell. Okay.
Okay.
Beautiful. So with that, we're coming up on our 30 minutes here, and I don't want to take more of your time because I know how busy you are. And so for anyone who's listening right now, who's struggling to get their practice even started, who's working in a job that's kind of like working them to the bone, do you have any advice for anyone on like, how do you find the time to get this thing started? Like, how do you push yourself over that kind of fear jump that you have to go through when you first start this thing? Because you did it in a month. You just were like, all right, doing it, done, 14 grand.
Yeah, I
So
did it in a month, but it wasn't easy, that's for sure. Finding the time is everybody's problem.
yeah,
And I honestly, I got over myself and said that I needed to do it for me. And
yeah,
so I called out of, or I signed up for less shifts at the hospital because I'm PRN there. And so I did, I did like a day or two less of shifts and sat down, woke up, made myself breakfast, which never do that, had a cup of coffee, never do that, with my laptop open, and just started working through the modules. And you can ask my coach, I was extremely behind. But the little bit of encouragement of, did you get it done? What module are you on? Are you doing your modules? Like, that's helpful, one, because I didn't want to disappoint her. And then, like, you have to do it. Like, you have to take the time to do something that you're trying to do for yourself. Like, I could either go to the hospital and make $53 an hour, or I can sit and enjoy my couch and learn
Mhm.
something for myself and have breakfast and sleep a little bit and then
Mhm.
feel better. And I'm not in an environment where, the hospital's kind of sad if anybody's ever worked there. Sad hospital environment. And I'm working on something for myself, and that was exciting. And so then, once you get through the first module, then you're like, all right, on to the next. But those were few and far between for me because I obviously had a lot of responsibilities. So I had to do that a couple times, which is hard for me because I've never missed a day of work or a day of school. Um, but a change in the mindset of like putting in the time was very much worth it. And I was just as surprised as you are about my first month, but I appreciate the hype and the belief that I can do it again. We'll see how this month goes.
I'm really, really excited for you. What do you have a goal over the next couple months? Like, when are you gonna start phasing out the jobs and go full time? You think?
Yeah, so I'm down to about a total of 6 shifts at the hospital.
Yeah.
Um, and mainly I think I do that because my mom always taught me like survival of the fittest type skills and to never be stuck. And so I think it's just my safety net.
Mm.
But I'm not letting it impact like my Monday through Friday as much so that I can be here Monday through Friday. Um, and I think, you know, what I need is in the air and in the environment, in the atmosphere, because like opportunities present itself where it's like, oh, my morning's open. And so it's just taking the realization to be like, okay, you can sleep a little bit more, but then you're going to get up and you're going to do your modules. Like, you can't just take advantage of what life gives you. It's giving it to you for a reason. And like, those are the lessons we have to learn. And so, yeah, it's easy to be like, all right, free morning, like, let's go. But no, it's, oh, okay, there's the time I've been asking for to do my module. So I'm going to take it. Um, my goal, so like we talked about earlier, the feelings of the ups and downs, like they're already here because that was my first month, but this month I'm like half that. And so at this point I'm hoping for half. And then we'll see. But now that my ads are going and I have some ideas for like some workshops, and like I have a dance studio to the left of me and I'm dance physical therapy certified, so I want to do something there, and I have a chiropractor to the right of me and she wants to do some workshops together. So there's things in motion that I want to get going, and hopefully that takes my 14 to like a 24. That'd be cool.
That's right. That's right. You have everything that you need to get there. Like, I don't say this to like most people, but you have like the true like inner makeup of like a real entrepreneur, where you have the story, you
Thanks.
have the drive, clearly like the grit and the work ethic to make it happen. And most practice owners, they started out of necessity, not because they're inherently just like a self-driven force, as I can tell that you are just from this conversation. So I'm really excited to be a small part of your journey, because I can tell like you're going to go really far. It's going to be hard. It's going to be
Yeah.
hard, and you're going to have setbacks. And the month after a record month always sucks because you feel like you've reached this new level, but then you fall and now you feel like you're behind, like you're not who you thought you were. Now that's when imposter syndrome like punches you in the mouth really, really hard. But
Yeah.
if you continue to ask questions, continue to show up, especially like lean on Jen, you're going to accomplish so much more than you think you can, so much faster than you can. So um,
Yeah.
I'm
And
glad.
definitely, I think like being humble is a big part of that. Like, I don't think a low month is bad as long as you've met like your needs. So if I had, I don't need much, so that's fine. But if I had employees or whatever, like if I met the need of what I needed to give my people, then a low month is still a good month. And humbly like being okay with that,
Mhm.
and having like that inner entrepreneur like grit. I don't see myself like that, so I'm going to keep looking in the mirror for that one. But I appreciate you saying that because it does kind of light my fire, and it is hard. Like, it's there's days where I'm just not knowing what I'm doing, and I'm like, well, gee, like I
You
clearly
will
didn't
know.
get anything done
You'll
for my
feel
business
lost forever.
today.
I promise. I
Yeah,
promise. That doesn't go away.
no. So it's definitely good to have like you guys on my side, and we'll just keep moving the mark. That's all we can do.
That's right. That's right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time for being here today. For everyone here who is watching, who's been paying attention to what's going on in the Cash Physical Therapy Headquarters Facebook group, we have a special kind of promo that's going on right now where, we're promising that we'll get you 5 figures in the next 5 weeks of us working together. But it's only this week where we're going to build you websites as we're doing for Betty Lou. We'll build your ads for you. We'll teach you how to scale them. And if you don't do 5 figures in 5 weeks, we'll just work with you until you make at least $30,000. That is this week only. So, Betty Lou, do you have any guidance or counsel for anyone who's been on the fence about joining in with the book partnership program?
Yeah, just do it. Because so like, when I did it, I still haven't met my 30 mark, but the support that I'm receiving is immense. Like, it's worth it. I definitely would never have made that first 14 if I didn't have the program. So that's just the truth of it. Like, I didn't know what I was doing. So if you don't know what you're doing and it's not, or you are trying and it's just not going in the direction you want, like, get help from those that do and have had success. Otherwise, we're never going to grow and learn. So, and like I was saying, the support is endless. Like, the Facebook group, so many questions go in there, and they are always like opened with or welcomed with open arms and answered by like everyone. And so you get so many voices and so many experiences, and then all of a sudden you have all that experience too, just by reading what's happening in the group. And so if that alone isn't like, that one sells itself too. And then we have like the Scottsdale trip coming up. Like, that's gonna be immensely valuable as well. Like, there isn't very many words for it. Like, was it an investment in myself? Yes. Do you deserve it? Yes. Is it gonna work? Yes. So go for it. It's cool.
Go. Well, thank you so much. I can't wait to see you at the live event. We're gonna have so much fun. We got 100 people registered for that thing already, so it's going to be wild. It's gonna be a really good time. It's gonna be impactful.
Yeah, it's gonna be weird, like seeing people in the flesh.
Oh yeah,
versus through the phone.
It's weird, but like what you're able to get from people when you're actually able to like hug them and like shake their hand and hang out, and have a cocktail with them, it's so powerful. So
I know,
really excited to be a part of it. Thank you again for being here. Everyone else, make sure to give Betty Lou some love in the comments because she's working 7 days a week right now. She's got a practice side hustle. She's got patients to see, and she's here sharing her experience and knowledge with all of you. So give her some love in the comments. But
I got
Betty
a
Lou,
discovery call in an hour. Let's get another one. You know what I mean?
that's right.